Where are you at? So now the freight's way over here. So we set percent sign. We did a M6 G1 for the tool change. G0, G20. You got the rest. So then we do a, what's next? What you think? I want you to look at you. Try to remember, because you're going to have a quiz and you got to remember how to do this. You can look if you want.
Max definition. Oh, spindle speed.
Yeah, spindle speed. Good job. M3 S. That's something, right? And then what's next?
Then Mach G54.
Correct. Now we got to decide where we want to go. Now, we don't want to have our shell go start or finish with like half of it on
Yeah.
and half of it off. Now I know how to freeze this to keep it from moving, and that'll freeze that. Let me try something. I would much rather use this. But now I probably can't move this.
You go crazy. Do a circle.
Now it's moving again.
I think it's only when you do circles. Oh, never mind. Lied.
So anyway, G54, so we don't want to start like that. So we have to figure out where we want to start. I have a tendency to start on this side because I'm used to manual machining and that throws all your chips that way. Plus, if your part would happen to come out for some reason, guess which way your part's going? That way, and not into the door. So I usually start over here.
Yeah.
So you've got to go
I
at
said
least.
3 inches.
You've got, first of all, you've got to figure out how far you are from here to here. So we know that's what?
3. So 1.5.
1.5, and then I usually just cheat and I add the whole diameter of the cutter.
So 4.5.
This time I actually did the 1.5 plus half the cutter, which would be 1.5, and then I just added a little extra. I started at 3.3.
So then.
So 3.3 will put your cutter 300 thousandths from this edge.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So
if I have it at 3
if you go right at 3 inches, you're going to start right on the edge of the part. I would keep it bigger than 3 inches, just barely at least. And then Y0, so we're right in the middle. Then we've got to do, what's next? One more offset, right?
Z.
Offset. What G's next? Remember?
Oh, isn't it G43?
Yeah. You remember all this stuff. You just don't give yourself enough credit sometimes. You let it scare you. Tool height. So we've got tool 1. And then
H1 and then C 1 point.
because we're going to start an inch above the part. That way we don't crash if we accidentally make a mistake. And then we do like,
And then the next one is a negative, or not negatives, but it's a point 1.
a G01, which is a commuter feed. And then a Z of what you want to do.
Here it says G01, or G01 and then Z.1, F25.
Z of 0.1. So we're going to go down to 100 thousandths above the part.
Yeah.
We're above, I shouldn't say above the part. We're going down to 100 thousandths above wherever Z0 is. So if Z0 is on the bottom, we're going to be 100 thousandths from the bottom. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Yeah.
And then the F is just a feed rate. And then A to turn the cooler on. Then I went down again, and I went down to a Z of negative 50 thousandths. So it's gonna feed down to a Z of negative 50 thousandths. And then, like we did before, so if you know where you're at here, where are we going? You said X of, we decided X of 3.3, so where am I going to go all the way across the line?
About 3.2, or negative 3.2.
So then we do an X of negative 3.3. And I kind of made up the first feed rate, it was an educated guess, so I put another feed rate on here. So whatever you want to feed your cutter.
The feed rate that's on that one is my edited, that's my edited. That's the edited feed rate, so that's the one I already edited and stuff.
Well, I just thought you did away the feed rate.
No, I'm saying the one on paper.
Yeah, you already did it. But see, you don't actually have to edit this one, these two don't have to match. All this is controlling is this one move and how fast it goes down.
One second, you might have to repeat that.
All this feed rate does is controls how far this goes down.
Yeah.
Because this feed rate right here changes it, so this is.
So what if there's not, like,
You can do it where, so if you take this feed rate and you put it up here, you can use it for both.
yeah, there's not.
Because it goes to the last, it
So
reverts back to the
on like
last
the
one.
first feed and speed that there was a line where it was F25, it was a G01 at 0, or Z0, or 0.1.
So now you know how to do the next line, right?
That's the.
We're
one
finished,
that-
correct?
That's the one that's like M5, and then,
Well, no, well, yeah, it's M9.
oh, G0, and then Z1 and.
Z1, so it goes up to a safe spot, and then M9, so rapid to Z1, and then M5, and we're gonna do it like we do all the rest. I'm not gonna do this the whole time, but I'll do it with the first one, okay?
M5.
28, Z0, and then G28, G49, X0, Y0.
Number I'm getting for a feed rate seems a little high to me.
It's gonna be fast, because it's not very big hole.
Well, like, I got like
For about the
900,
diameter of the hole.
I got like 900 for the,
And it's supposed to be, I think, that tool is what, 200 inches in it? Don't use the high speed, there's one for an actual spot drill. I think it's 2 or 300 inches. Does that make sense?
so I got like 9.
Keep in mind that steel too is not. Look at your book, see if you find it. It's not very book in your G28, G90, and then what is the last one here, the M1? What is that?
It's, isn't that,
It's either,
rapid motion?
no, it's either optional stop or what?
Oh, it's optional stop.
Oh. No, I'm gonna teach you.
Wait, was it optional stop?
Yeah, it's optional stop. I gave you 2 choices, you pick correct.
I nonchalantly picked that, I just said optional stop, because that's the most thing I've heard.
I love how you group these up, Richard.
I don't know what else to say.
It makes it a lot easier, it makes it so much easier to teach. It's like, did he understand that, or was that just an educated guess? And Don's like, yeah, no, I just guessed.
I guess the old vet feeling is just strong. And then now we're on tool two.
So now we're on tool 2. This is where it's gonna get a little more interesting. So you know how.
Real question, going back up to the parentheses for this part, is it just gonna be the same, X, Y, or X, Y, 0, and then 2?
Wherever you put it, or it's wherever the print tells you to put it. I think the print tells you where to put it. I did say you could write like me though, so you could put, Justin may have both on the top, put the first one on top, last one on bottom. Your bottom, you just program from the bottom of the part up. If you top, you program from the top of the stock down. You can also program from the top of the part, but that usually goes as for a while, so we don't get that.
So go to the top.
No, the top, there's a difference between the top of the part and the top of the stock. Does that make sense? Don't worry about it, I'm not gonna confuse you. You can program.
Is that not the same thing?
No, it's not, because, okay. I'll show you real quick. Don't let this confuse you though. So I have my block right here,
What
okay?
would be from like a tolerance?
No, but see, okay, this is your raw stock, okay? Now my part is gonna get machined out of my raw stock like this, correct?
Yeah.
So this is all gonna go away.
So then.
So here's a little trick you can do that makes life easier if you're used to it. This is why we don't want you guys doing it yet though, because you're not used to it. I was gonna program it, I might do it that way, I did it that way for you guys. But if I was gonna do it, here's what you can do. You can make this right here, Z0, the top of your part. Which means when you come in here with your shell mill, you can come down to, if you're gonna do it one pass like we just did. So you take your shell mill and you drop down to C0, okay? You go across like this, so that's gone, right? So now when you go to do the rest of your numbers, say I've got a hole in here, like this, it's a blind hole. So I want to know where this is. So the way that you guys are taught to program, you take and you go to the top of the part, and then you have to add this little bit to the top of the stock. Follow what I'm saying? Because what happens if I write down, if I'm going from here to here, and my hole's supposed to be a ½ inch deep, but I do this, and say this distance right here is 100 thousandths. Am I right or wrong? Is my hole going to be a ½ inch deep if I do that? No, it's going to be 400, right?
Yeah.
So by programming that way, you stop right here, you make your hole a ½ inch deep, and you don't have to worry about what you do with your shell.
Yeah.
That being said, it usually confuses the daylights out of 117, so Justin's like, you can show them, but don't have to do it that way. Does that make sense?
Oh, that.
It's confusing, but it's not.
Well, it's confusing, but I mean, I feel like I can probably do it.
You've seen it now, but write like I do, okay? You. So, M6, T2.
Oh, did you move the camera?
Yeah,
Clear.
make sure.
No, it's good.
Where'd it go? No, I'm confused.
I use, the same,
It's still here, it's just hiding behind there.
I use the same tools, except for a couple.
I know why it's moving. You use the same tool except for what? You use the same tool I did?
Except for the tap was different, and then, I mean, the drill would be different too.
So you got this line again, right? T20.
But are we doing the center drill right now, about this one?
I am doing the in-mill, it's gonna be the outside.
Okay, so you do, okay.
I'm gonna skip the center drill and the drill with the tap, because you did it last time, right? You did it last time, when you first program.
Oh, yeah.
We're just trying to add new stuff.
Yeah,
You hadn't-
okay.
You hadn't used the shell mill yet, so I showed you how to do that.
Yeah.
Now I'm gonna show you how to do cutter comp. Cutter comp's really easy, to like. So, got these two lines, what's next, John?
N6, T2, and then you got G0.
You skipped like 2 lines.
You got, what?
What do I write after that?
I don't know, I was just saying that, G0, then you got and that's G54.
So this is M6, T2, that's your tool change.
Oh,
G0,
G3,
G20, G40, G80, G90, what's next? G3 has something?
3056.
Then you've got a G54, right?
G54, then X.
We'll leave that. We'll figure out how to get to G54 after we do this.
X.
So you've got G43 here,
43H2,
H2,
and
C1. So it goes down to H11 part. Now we're gonna figure out the rest. So, what you're gonna do is you're gonna go around and cut this profile right here. You're gonna go like this. So if you look at your book, it says you have to have a linear feed move to turn G41 and 42 on. So linear is an angle, straight line, you can even go to a circle, but that's just too much trouble in your program, okay? So we're gonna come in here like this. It's gonna let me almost draw it with a marker. Come in here like this, we're gonna go up like this, around, and then we're gonna come back out like that, and I'll show you why. So here's your part. What is that part? It's 3 inches by. Yeah, it did. Not with, I did it with the cap. It was so close, it was picking the cap up.
like that? I didn't think it go on that side.
You can draw the whole thing. See? So, you've got 3 inches that way and what, 1.5 inches the other way? So we've got 1.5 inches this way. We've got 3 inches this way. And we want X0, Y0 right in the middle. So that makes the math easy, right?
Let's see. Yes.
You follow? So now, we'll figure out where our corners are, because once you know the coordinates, it's
Here's
easy.
right there.
It's easy to program a line. Too.
Oh, right. I'll need it.
So let's figure out where these points are. So what's my Y gonna be?
Your Y is gonna be minus, isn't it Y2 inches?
It's 1.5 from here to here, that's the Y direction. So if 0, 0 is in the middle, what is this down here? Remember what we did? So if this is 0, what are these two down here? What's that?
The top. Wait, it's
1.5.
0, you're talking about like it being negative?
What is that? What is this distance from here to here?
Isn't it 2 like total? So it'd be
They say it's 1.5 inches.
I thought it was
1.5 inches. Right here.
Oh, okay.
So if it's 1.5 inches from here to here, how far is it from there to there?
1 second. 75, or 0.75.
So on this side, are we positive or negative Y?
That's gonna be negative.
This side's positive?
Yeah.
This is how I would start everything. Now the same thing for the 3 inches. If we're 0 here, what is it over there?
Or,
Do that like your hand. That's a
I
negative.
was like 2 steps behind, I totally forgot what you were just asking.
So same thing. It's 3 inches from here to here. So what is it from here to there?
1.5.
And then on this side, it's what, positive or negative? So
I'm sure it's 1.5.
3 divided by 2. So you're, oh, whoops, I lied. That's the whole stock. Ah, that's funny. It's right here, 2.5. You were right. The 2.5 divided by 2 is what?
No, I still don't, I'm thinking you're looking at the inner, like where, the end of the shading. Or is that what you're talking about?
I'm just talking about the print. I don't care about the window right now. So, from here,
So yeah, it would be 3, okay,
huh? No, here. This profile is what we want to machine.
Yeah, that's what I'm
The
saying.
inside one, and it's 2.5.
Yeah.
The outside's 3. I just picked the wrong one accidentally.
Yeah, that's what I was saying.
So now 2.5 divided by 2 is what?
1.25.
1.25. So is it positive or negative on that left?
Negative on the left, positive over.
Positive over here, right?
Yeah.
So now,
You got it.
the rule when you use G41 and G42 is when you cut into a block, if you want you have to make a linear move, and you want your cutter to stay inside, like, picture it as like a horseshoe almost. So you want your cutter to be, so in here, over here, our cutter's right in the middle of the line, like normal. So as it comes over this way, it migrates from the center of the line to the edge of the line when it gets here. So then we can just turn and go straight up the side of this, and we program the part itself. You don't have to allow for the cutter. Do you follow? Just like when we come back out to turn it off, you can't do a Z move in cutter comp. If you have to do a Z move, so like go down farther, you have to keep it off and turn it back on.
Okay.
Otherwise it cuts at an angle. So, when we come all the way around, remember I said we wanted to stay inside the horseshoe? You come off the side and then we come back down this way. Because when we come off, it's going to be right here, and as we come back down, it will center back up. When it gets to the end of that last move, it'll go right to the center point of the cutter. Follow? A little bit. So, this is really simple. Remember how far I told you I usually start off the part?
No, like,
Last time with the whole,
what, 2,000?
well, no, the whole diameter of the cutter.
Oh, yeah.
When I start with like an end mill. Just because, plus, because the whole diameter of the cutter is going to move you half the rate, half the cutter away. So you don't have to worry about running into anything. So on this, we've got, this is our Y value. So, I'm going to raise this. Now, I'm just going to do the profile of the part, so I don't want to confuse you, all right?
Oh, I think, wait, are we doing, okay.
I just redid the box.
So are we just
So we always start down.
rewriting the code for this part?
Yeah.
So that I can just use that and write the other one? I
Exactly.
thought we were writing the other one.
Yours?
Because I was like.
No, I don't write wars.
No, no,
I might help you write the first one, but we don't want to make that happen. So, we usually start down here, remember where we ended last time, John? And we went this way, right? And then we go this way and around. So if we want to start here, then we've got to make a linear move to turn the cutter comp on, so we come over here to the side. Okay? So, I usually just do something simple. I do diameter away to get to this spot, okay, and Y. And then I do diameter away at X to get to this spot. You don't have to. All you have to be is at least half the radius away. When you do on this one, at minimum, you have to be half the radius away. If you're not, you control the whole air out. And it just won't even let you. So, what did I pick for a cutter? I said, which was a 3/4. So this is a 3/4 cutter. End mill. 3/4. Let me make it 3/4. I really care about the dimensions right now, but you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, take this right here, which is our X, and add the end mill to it. So you're going to have 750, and then take this dimension right here and add the end mill to it. And obviously, if we want to get more negatives, then we're going to have to add a negative number or just subtract it. I wrote it that way so that I didn't have to erase anything. You know what I mean? There it goes. So to
Going
find,
down.
so to find this
From
point,
where it, yeah, okay, cause that's, yeah, I understand. No, I understand.
you know what I'm saying? So this is your y.
Cause that's the width of the.
So if you take 750 and you double it, you get 1.5, because this is the diameter of the cutter.
So then,
I just do this because it makes it simple. You don't have to do it
I
this way.
keep forgetting this on video and I'm gonna write it down.
Yeah, don't take notes, just pay attention. So you take this. This is our dimensions that came off of here, right?
Yeah.
And you can subtract the 750 from the 750 to keep the number negative. So my y is going to be a negative 1.5, correct? And then 750 from that would be minus 2. So my x is going to be minus 2 on this one. And now we know the y is minus 2, so you've got y of, or minus 1.5, right? So then if we go from here to here, the only thing we change is our x, correct?
Yeah.
So right here, x is what?
2 or,
That's x, correct?
I thought you just said you should, yeah.
No, that's to get these spots. So we have this spot and we have this spot. This spot at x lines up with the edge of the part.
Then, sorry.
Because our end mill's here,
That'd be,
then our end, or, I messed up. Didn't need to draw that way. Let's start here. So you've got a spot here, you've got your spot here. Now over here, this is your cutter, it's right in the middle. So as you move this way, once it gets here, it's gonna be right here in the corner.
yeah.
So then you just profile, you just do the profile of the part, you don't care about what the cutter is, because it pops it for you.
Yeah, but when we look at the X you said,
So the X on this,
would be 2750, right? Or negative 750.
yeah, it's the same as the part, right?
Yeah.
So the X, but the
I
X,
just saw the X up there and I was like, wait.
this way is X.
Yeah, left to right is X.
Left to right is X, so X is this one. That's why I put an X behind it. This is Y. This is X.
Oh, wow, I'm very dyslexic.
You understand now?
Yeah.
That just came on, didn't it?
I like looked at the bottom one and read the top one for some reason.
Alright.
But yeah.
So now your X is negative 1.250. And your Y is negative 1.5 still, because it didn't change, right?
So yeah.
Once we get to that point, all you have to do is put in whatever changes. So from this spot, what do we have to do to get to this spot?
You gotta change the Y.
So the Y is going to be what?
No, positive 1.5.
Correct. So this is the Y of 1.5. So how do we get here?
From there you subtract it, go on X from Y, right? You go X, right? So you go positive in X. And then you would plus 3.3. Or no, it would be 3.3, it'd be what, 3.1?
You've already figured X out, it's right there. Except it's negative.
Oh, right, you just have to, I forgot, it goes from 0 to there. So
Yeah, our zero's right here. X, 0,
right.
Y, 0.
It's just a simple thing that wants to slip my mind.
So now you go down here.
And then it'd be, what, negative Y 1.5. Back over.
Why did I let you put 1.5? I let you make a mistake. Because what's our Y up here?
Yeah, that's what I was about to say, I thought
That's
the
got
Y
the-
was 0.6.
This has the cutter added to it.
That, oh, okay, so that's,
This one does not.
so you don't have to worry about the cutter.
You don't have to worry about the cutter. After this,
So
we
then,
work.
yeah, then you go positive 0.75, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
that's what it should be.
Or 750.
So you come up here this way, you hit this point, you come over here, this line would be right on top of this one, but I obviously can't draw it that way, you know what I mean? And then, so now we're gonna come around, now what's that point? What's
That one's gonna be negative 750, or 7, yeah, 750.
Y is negative 0.750. You'll never
Instead of
see,
50,000.
you will never see that on the camera. Y of. .750. So then we're gonna come around the corner and we're gonna come back this way. And now, the same thing, you need to come off of the part. So, I usually cheat a little bit and I come just back to where this one is, because I already know where it's at. You don't have to. You can go half of the diameter, or half of the radius off of this corner. Half of the diameter, the radius of the cutter off of this corner, and then you go back down. Okay?
Oh, okay.
See what I'm getting at?
Yeah.
So you know this point is
So then you'd go over.
Y of .750, you have to go half the diameter of the cutter at least, is what I would do, so that you don't mess up your surface finish.
Damn, excuse me.
But that's still gonna leave you over this, probably, so I usually just come all the way off.
So from that bottom right Y, you would go 1.25 and then.
So I just come back over here, so now I have my Y, negative, yeah, like you said, 1.5, right?
Yeah.
So now,
Or no, it'd be X 1.5, right?
yeah. Wow, I'm all messed up today. No, it says X of -2, because we added that to there, so this should be an X of -2.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah, okay, yeah, that's right.
Then we come back down this way, because we have to do it, we would just shut it off, and I usually just come back to the same point. That's why if you notice when you're ready to do the program, that's what happened.
So wait,
So then you just put this in right here, at the end of your program,
you put those coordinates at the end of the program, right?
because I put a G40 right here. And then right here, when you start to make this move to go over here, so this right here is your G40, to shut it off, okay? So when you come off, you're gonna be like this, and then you wanna center back up down here. Right here, when you turn this corner, so when you run this line, you wanna have a G41 or a G42. So it turns it off. We'll go through the code, we have the points now, right? You see how we got there?
Oh, yeah.
Then you could put any number and put this wherever you want, as long as it's not on the part, because if it's on the part, you're gonna mess up your surface finish. So you could run all the way over here if you want to. As long as you're within the travel of the machine, you're fine. Do what? So now all we have to do is put that in code. So G54 is our start line, right?
Yeah.
That's, you remember where the start
That
line was?
was
Okay.
X2,
Here.
0, or X.
Oh my gosh, I can't fucking talk.
Anyways, X -2, Y -1.5.
I've actually got an X -242, I just want to put it here, okay? So we'll put what's on your paper. And then, actually, we want, just make sure you're far enough away. I want to put what's on here so you will watch it on videotape and matches what I put, okay?
Okay.
X of 2.0, Y of,
1.5, or negative 1.5.
oh no, I got 750, negative 1.5. And as long as it's half the radius, it'll be fine.
Yeah, 750 up there. So I guess we just didn't add the width of the cutter, or the diameter of the cutter.
I probably added the radius or something. You don't always do it the same way twice, right? That's, like I said, that's.
You said what, sorry?
That's some random number.
I didn't get that one.
Because you don't necessarily have to do the same way twice, right?
Oh.
Not on that part, anyway.
I guess so.
I know that I don't really confuse the that's not you, unfortunately. So now you have your G43 line we already did. Now you have I put a G01 in to let it drop slowly, so it wouldn't crash. So Z.1, feed rate of 25. Like that. You follow? So now I'm just gonna go down to where I need to be, slowly. So I'm down to 0.1.
And then after that, you go from
Actually,
Z1 or Z21, right?
I guess this is Z at 0.1 right here.
I mean, sorry, I meant negative.
I actually did a Z of negative 0.2 there, so I went down another 100,000. And then we need to really figure out what our actual depth is. So this is 450. How much did we take off on our first pass when we did our shell down? Well,
0.05.
50 thousandths. So in order to get this dimension right, we're gonna have to go down half an inch, because you have to add what you took off. Because there's zeros on top of the stock,
Okay.
not on top of the part, on top of the stock.
Yeah.
So we have to add the material we took off right here back. So this is 50 thousandths. And then we have to add the depth of this. So then I'm gonna drop to Z and negative a half inch, follow? So you've got C of negative 0.5, so there's our half inch, that's our last drop, right? And then I put an MH to turn my ruler on before I start moving around. We're gonna erase that way I can move this, okay? I was planning on drawing it on top of print.
On top of that?
Yeah, because I could.
Well, I mean, you could have used your fingers, because your fingers seem to have been working right there.
And I don't know what's it. I was doing it ever so lightly too. So, now we're on to our first move. Let's see if I can delete this without making that. So now our first move, we want to go to here, and we're going to go from somewhere right here. And from here to here is going to be our G41. Okay? Because remember, it said you're centered up with the cutter, and as you go this way, the
Yeah.
cutter's going to go inside. That's why you turn inside. You don't want to turn like this on the outside,
Okay.
because this forces it to do what you want it to do. It's what it tells it how to do. You can also do a 45 for an angle if you want. Okay?
So, just,
So we're going to start with, this is our starting point. So our next line, we need a G41, we need a feed rate, and we need this point right here.
oh, okay. So then it'd be like G41, feed rate of 55.
You have to have a G01. G01.
Or wait, no, you need the H3 or H2.
We did that earlier.
Oh, we did?
So you need a G01 that tells the cutters a line, right? That's
Yeah.
a linear move. But you have to do this a linear move. Now you need a G41. This is also all in your book. The next thing we have that you don't know what it is a D. What do you think the D is?
Diameter.
So, yeah, diameter. Now you need to know it's your tool number, which is 2.
Oh, my, excuse me.
2, right?
Wait, so so the diameter is 2?
Diameter and the tool number 2, just like H. H2, tool 2, D2, also known as tool 2.
Oh, yeah.
It's referenced in the diameter of, in the offsets in your controller.
So with the, should I do diameter, like whenever I'm probing it, should I do diameter and, spin, or? Yeah.
Because you know that those boards go.
Okay.
Like your shell mill, if you're just spacing off with it, you don't have to do diameter. Anything you cut a profile with, if you're using cutter comp, you have to do diameter.
Okay.
So then we have D2 for tool 2, okay? So this means diameter, and this is your tool number. Understand?
Yeah.
So then we're going to do an X of negative 1.25 and a feed rate of something. Feed rate of, yeah. And if you look on the print that or on the program I made, it says cutter diameter for D. I give you guys little hand secrets.
That little D on
See,
the.
right here, it says D,
Yeah.
cutter diameter.
Yeah.
So then, now all we have to do is we just pick the next point we want to go. So we're right here, our cutter's inside, we want to do what? We want to go all the way up here, right? So what's that spot?
So then we just.
What, the only thing I changed is what I need, Y. So, we just do a Y of
Y
0.
of 0.750.
Now what's our next move?
The next line would then be x of positive 1.25,
Next.
negative y, 75, or should, and then back over.
And then we have to run off over here somewhere.
So
right?
from y, right, from this line right here, the y negative 750, could you just go back over
So why?
2 or x, so from there you can go over x2 and then down back to like the starting point?
You have to go half the radius of the cutter. So you go to 3/4 inch cutter, or half the diameter. You have to go the radius of the cutter,
Yeah.
at least. So what's 3/4 divided by 2?
Uh, or 0.625.
So add that to this.
It's 1.875.
So the minimum you could possibly go would be a negative, x of negative, what did you say,
875.
1.875.
Yeah.
Now, if you do that, you're gonna have a turn mark right here on your part, because you're gonna come off of here, actually, you won't yet. But you're gonna come off of here, so you're still probably gonna be setting on this, depending on how big it is.
Okay.
And when you turn, it's gonna show your part finish. But that's fine. If you don't care about your surface finish, that would be the fastest way. So now, okay, so this is that line. So we move this point. I'm just gonna get rid of all this. Right here. So I don't want you confused, okay?
Yeah.
So we change this point to what you wanted it to be, which is fine.
I can average
It's
this.
negative 1.875, and that's our x, correct?
Yeah.
So now I need a G40, and we want to turn inside the corner, so we want to turn like that.
So that would be, the next line would be G40 and then Y.
It's got to have a G0, just like the start line.
Oh, yeah, G0.
Start, stop, equality, remove. G,
G0 and
oh, no, never mind, I lied. You're already in the here, but you get it up here. So all you need is a G40, and then you need to tell it, oh, we're not shut the coolant off. So if you want to keep your little thing going in the least amount of distance possible, take half the 3/4 and add it to that.
So.
Where did you say those stamps are?
My toolbox behind you. Big red one? Right behind you.
Oh.
No, there.
2.25.
2.25.
Yeah.
Okay. So, negative y of 2.25. Not so sure I agree.
You said,
This would be,
Uh,
if you want to go to the minimum, okay?
you said half of 750 added to.
Yes. Your
So
one.
a half of 750 added to 750?
You have to move half the diameter of the cutter. So half of the cutter plus whatever your y is that you're on. So you're on a y
Oh, so
of,
it's 750 plus 750?
you're actually on, right now, you're currently on a y of what, negative 750? So what's the radius of a 3/4 inch window?
750.
The radius, not diameter. Radius is half diameter.
Oh, I just had that. Hold up. Sorry. 375.
So now, then we want to go, what, more negative, correct?
Yes.
So just subtract the two. What do you get? Negative 750, you either add the two positives and then put the negative side back on.
My fault.
5, 12, 8, 10, 11.
minus and negative, or just minus, no wonder.
You can either do negative minus.
It's 1 point, or negative 1 point, yeah.
That's right. I thought you were a little big there. We're a little small.
No, I did the math completely wrong. I divided 750 by 2 and then added that to 1.
But you know what you did, that's the important part. Y negative 1.125. This is the absolute minimum you can go, okay?
The absolute minimum.
Because you have to go half the diameter of the cutter. Where it will turn off correctly. It needs that much time to move over. So, now you're done. Now the rest is just, so M9 here is what I said. M5, G91, dot, G28. Same thing. G90, M1. Follow?
Yep.
So, engrave, I'll show you, I'll tell you how to do this. Engrave is so simple, it's insane.
I was gonna say, it didn't look too hard, really.
That's not what you did, you just took my number and,
But all I did was change
what was in
EC
the
to-
parentheses, didn't you?
All I did was change EC to feed rate, but yeah.
So, the only thing you really need to know about that is, grab your book and turn to the page that's got
It
engraved.
was like 140.
And you can tell me what these letters are. That way I know you know.
No, that's B12. Serial number. Thought it was just
You're getting closer, you're not there yet. Serial number's a little different. There's an easier one. There you go.
No, I was talking about the page number, because it was English.
I don't know, I don't have page number memorized, I didn't know.
161.
So, okay, now tell me what all this stuff is. So,
We got E,
we have, what's the G code first?
G code is G47.
So G47 is engraved.
Engrave. And lets you engrave a line of text or sequential serial numbers with a single G code.
So what does P mean?
P is 0, wait, what?
Or what does P0 mean? What does that do?
For literal text engraving.
So it tells it to engrave text.
Is that what it tells us? It might say it better on the.
Better, I don't agree. Okay. It says P0 for literal text engraving. So the P0 tells it to engrave whatever you put in these parentheses.
Yeah, okay. P parentheses, yeah,
So if you put my initials in here like on yours, it'll engrave that. If you put a number in there like Shillbox, it'll engrave that. So the next point is the start point. What does it tell you about the start point?
Start point,
X, start of the engrave, Y, start of the engrave, Z depth of cut.
Indicates optional.
So
Indicates optional.
does it start top corner, bottom corner?
Oh, is that what that means?
Right.
Indicates optional?
Literal text engraving, it's meant to use engraved text on a part. Text should be in the form of a comment or the same line as G47 X2 grade. So there's actually a video on this. So in this example, G47, 0 moving range, X2, Y2 sets the start point for the, so X2 is here, Y2 is here, but they're going sideways. So, but that's what it is. You'll have to figure out where that places. You can probably look at my program and figure it out. You can do a ranking here.
What would cause the program to only run a dry run?